G'day. Hello. Little bit of taping before the taping. I thought I'd share some latest synapses and whatnots and share a little bit of what's happening with the kiddos and the center and all that good stuff. So, as many have heard, Los Angeles and California has definitely gotten its share of the rainfall thus far. Yes, needed. Yes, all the good stuff. However, what is expected to come this weekend is manufactured, because yesterday we had a total whiteout. Like, after all that beautiful rain, yes, it did cause damage. That beautiful heavy rain for days and days and days. It was just crisp and lush, and the hills were alive, and it's neon green, and then they sprayed the crap out of us yesterday. So total whiteout, and now we're ready for another rain weekend. So this is the rain. I'm going to say do not catch the raindrops in your mouth because they will be toxic. But some probably heard the stories of, I know Northern Cali got hit way worse than we did. But we did have some crazy mudslides. And one of my students, he was caught in the big one going out to Ventura along the 126. And he was one of the first cars. And this little dude, he needed to come to school the next day because he couldn't wait to share the story. And yeah, it was intense. So we take this route all the time. We go out to our favorite beach, Carpinteria, which is not doing too well right now either. It's where a lot of the homeschoolers go. And it's where a lot of us flocked to in 2020 when they were being little beach Nazis in Malibu and stuff. So yeah, Carpinteria got hit pretty bad, but it's been hit bad before, like mudslides before, for a long time. It's kind of just perils of the land. But anyway, our little dude and his family, they actually left our center at about 4. And they actually went to a different part of town and then cut over to go home. They live out in kind of borderline Ventura. And they took that way, and they never usually take that way. And it is a busy 4-lane road, but it's majestic. It's one of my favorite rides. It's always has been since I moved out here. But they got caught in a gnarly one, and they were one of the first cars. So they were stopped in their car. They basically left the center about 4, and they didn't get home till about 1 a.m. And he said, and his mom said there were cars that were being pushed off the road. Now his story was telling the class they get pushed off in a lake, but they got pushed off in a deep ditch into accumulated water and flooding. There were helicopters that were doing rescues. There were hydroplaning all over the place. But my little buddy's family's car was protected and safe. It kind of was in the middle, and chaos was happening around them. So that was interesting. And his mom, bless her heart, she makes everything an adventure. So, I mean, the trauma, I guess, didn't stick. They were there the next day, and they navigated the crazy weather that I feel got even crazier the next morning just to get back to the center. But he had a story to tell, and they are fine. They are well. And shout out to the Ventura police departments and fire departments and all our first responders who really got everyone safe and sound. It is scary on the roads out here, and it's not just because Californians are shitty drivers. And I'm a Chicagoan, and we like to drive fast, but it doesn't rain very often. So when it does, all that oil piles up or pulls up really quick, and there is a lot of hydroplaning, a lot of craziness. Plus, we're a desert. It's a desert terrain, peeps. And when you get those first big heavy monsoons, it just doesn't soak in that fast. So there are shaky grounds. I remember on Laurel Canyon, one of the first years I moved here, a house went down. You could see it. It's still a vacant lot because it's a crappy lot. Why would you build on it? But that person did, and they lost their house. So that's what happens. And then, of course, the stories always come around after every heavy rain. Well, now the faults are shaky. They're always shaky. And it always happens after a rain. So do we instill everyone with fear and get thinking about that? I did have something happen yesterday, though, I have to share. Can I share? Maybe he'll come share it too. So I'm sitting at the kitchen table with my little man, and he has me fully engrossed in a story about Pokemon characters or something. I don't know. My mind went somewhere else. And I started thinking about earthquakes. I was literally thinking it. And then all of a sudden he goes, earthquake. And he said it when I was saying the same word in my head at the same time. And I looked at him, and then I kind of a panic went like, okay, he knows something. I know something. The dog's being weird. And I went in this, whoosh, and I'm like, we're ready. We're fine. We got this. We're good. Relax. And I brought my anxiety down. But wasn't that crazy? We did the exact same time. So, speaking of my little man, during those crazy monsoons and that torrential downpour, his class is still outside. Now, they moved from under the tarps of those pictures I've shared to this porch. So they basically have 3 walls with 1 exposed wall, and they are protected. And heat lamps, and every classroom does tea service. We do tea service too, and I love that. I actually just went thrifting yesterday with a gal pal and got a whole new really, really cute tea set and this really old wooden ice bucket to put our dirty rags in. And I just went thrifting for the classroom, and I'm really excited to bring all the treasures in. They feel really good. Little schoolhouse rock kind of stuff. I'll share pictures another time, but we do teas. We stay warm. We do, there's always handwork. So, knitting circles with teas and kids and rainy conversations is so freaking cool, especially when you're surrounded by starseeds. But he navigated it all really well. And with his little 3rd grade, they're doing woodworking and stuff. So they had the tools out and they were navigating the rain. By Wednesday afternoon, the mud was epic. And this is not a school where the playgrounds, it's not even a school, sorry, it's an education center. It's a learning enrichment center that must be noted because it is to supplement the homeschool unschool lifestyle. It is not a private school, which means to the parents who are still trying to mold it into something that they want, which is usually a private school with highly funded school where sometimes that money can change things. Sorry, peeps, this is supplemental to what you're doing at home. So please stop doing that. We worked together to create it, but it will not become the private school that kicked you out due to medical choice. It is what it is, which is a sovereign, beautiful learning education center for the New Earth children. Anywho, I digress. Where was I going with that? The 3rd grade, maybe? I did lose my thought. I got a little excited there. By the mud. So unlike some of the rules and regulations that can be found at other education type centers, we play in the mud and we go out, even with drizzles and things. And mud there was. There was even a little mini lake for a moment. It is not a concrete jungle like some of the public schools you see in your local neighborhoods here. It is a beautiful facility with grounds and neighboring animals and trees to climb and hills to run and roll down and all this stuff. So it was basically a mud run each day. It was fun. Yeah, we had a really good time. So it was a good adventure this week, and we have some awesome field trips coming up. Not only are we prepping for the middle school's Costa Rica trip, but we have my son's trip to a very sovereign farm that never shut down, and they were really chastised for it. You've probably seen my posts and videos of it before in 2020 and 2021 when the homeschool freedom fighters went out there, but there is a farm out in San Bernardino County that is just super patriotic. They teach about the gold rush and the colonial days and the wars. They have orchards and productions and plays they do and reenactments, and it's really kind of cool. So we're just going to have that full immersive experience soon with that class. It's a little bit of a trek out there, so breaking out the school bus for that one. What else has been happening? Even with those monsoons, everyone was back. This was our first week back after a fabulous hibernation holiday. And everyone was just ready to see one another again. And the magic that is occurring is pretty epic. And my particular class that I work in, we are working with humans and animals we're studying. And the children are knee-deep in their spirit animal project. And they're doing fully immersive reports on it with dioramas and models and book reports and Q&A. And they're going to each have a presentation, and it's really, really cool. They're excited. And what's cool is every single child has a different animal and they're passionate about it. So this is going to be really fun delivery of information coming up. So I'll have to share that here and there. And what were my other thoughts with what's happening? More the demeanor of the kids, bless you, the demeanor of the kids with that weather, it's cozy. They're safe. Their synapses are welcomed. There's not a lot of there's a lot of go with the flow, relax, go into lesson after lesson, but in a relaxed sort of way. And things are like, it is what it is. One particular morning, we have a certain routine we usually follow in the mornings to get the children inside. But when the monsoon was happening, I was one of the fortunate ones. I had an umbrella and you just basically shuttling in one kid after another. And it took 3 times as long, but it was so fun. To be that shining bright light, greeting a child, probably on a day they wish they were home still in their jammies, but I know even the parents needed a break after holiday, but it was like, good morning, isn't this exciting? Here, snuggle up under the umbrella, we're going to go inside. It was just fun, and everyone had this electricity about them. So I don't know, I'm just sharing that. It was just it's so fun to be surrounded by like minds, both with children and coworkers, and just we're there for the betterment of the child, for the mind, body, will of the child. And when things such as that, like natural disasters and stuff, we even had a mudslide at the learning center. That was earlier in the year. And to navigate that energetically, it's fun. It's fun to put into practice what I preach, and it's received. And I'm really getting some good rapport with some new parents. And yeah, so might have seen a post as well. So the last week before we went on our hibernation holiday, we only had 3 days at the center, and all 3 of them, both my kids were down. There was this gnarly new thing going around, and we're all about sleep and rest. You rest it away and do all the natural homeopathic things you can, but ultimately rest, and a stress-free, cozy environment will let the body naturally heal and get itself back to one. But my daughter missed her midterm, and I do this loosely because it is not what you think when you hear midterm. What the educator is doing is introducing testing of where you are at. Now, because she missed this, how it was done in class was open book, and with a very long time frame over 2 days. And the book they use is the book they made. It's their main lesson book, and it's a beautiful bound. In fact, I have my daughter's from last year. Let me just show you really quick. And yes, and the reason I have this is because we were trying to see, look at this beautiful thing. I mean, there's geometry. Oh, she forgot to do that one. I guess you can't see them that up close. Here's the sacred stuff. She's like these. This is last year's. Here's the Fibonacci sequence. Here's oh goodness. Then there's the paintings. There's the worlds, the planet. Oh, hi, welcome to Roma. So they've been making theirs this year, and then it's bound. It's leather bound. They bind it themselves. Look at that, freshwater habitat. I don't know if you can't see this beautiful thread in here. And anyway, they're making theirs this year, this midterm is open book. Go through the lessons. And how they make this is, we use chalkboards, man. We are old school chalkboards and the cloths and everything. And beautiful designs and works of art, basically. And so what they've accumulated thus far this year, they're able to use that as for their midterm. So you're able to see and check yourself, which my daughter has, about taking better notes and making sure you get on your main lesson pages the full lesson. And so when she delivered, basically my daughter's home and she was able to, stepdad picked up the midterm and she was able to do it at home. And I had her timed chunk one day and a chunk another day. And there is a math version, and she got to use all her old math worksheets for it and such. No stress. And I just did a little what's going on over here? And took a little meander peek at it. And it was so thought-provoking. It really was, where are you at, basically? And how does this make you feel? Those are the types of questions. Really tell me what your thoughts are on the Arabic culture. And my daughter was basically coming up with about, I'm just going to actually not share right now, but it moved the teacher so much. She gave her extra points for that. And she's still talking about it. it was not what you think it will be. And it also isn't graded. She was given a percent and an opportunity to change anything. Same with math. She was given a certain score and told which ones did not come up with the right answer, but to take your time and try to redo it. This is the formula used. You're given a chance to redo it. But to me, this is empowerment. This is getting them to put together that, oh, I need to make sure I have this information. I want to make sure and do my best and be my best self. So I need to make sure I gather all the information I need. I need to express myself clearly. What is my thought here? What did I learn here? How many things can I pull from different lessons to show the arc of information I learned? What came out of it was a stress-free child who was proud and who came into second semester running full steam ahead going, what can I do now? That did not happen before. So it's exciting. And so, and if you hadn't seen, sorry, I'm all over the place. If you hadn't seen that reply of how they were given their test scores, the teacher beautifully presented it in a gift box that was mailed to the home, addressed to them. And in the gift box, all these post-its by all the answers of just her thoughts and tell me more over here, or maybe share this. And it was gifted underneath the tests were gifts. It was a beautiful quill pen and the stationery and the wax that you close the envelopes with the stamper that's her initials. And it's like so Harry Potter-esque. I love it. And she'll do that, like when we have our dances or a social, or like the camping adventure to Joshua Tree for the Integratron, the sound healing journey they all went on. They're gifted invitations, and the invitations are to them. And it's just a very empowering thing to do for middle schoolers, because this particular middle school class is 6th, 7th, 8th, and they work together. It is fully immersive and it is hands-on. And right now they're doing physics. And on the last day when the rain gave up, they were working with levers and trying to get the formula together to how to lift a car. And so it was so fun to watch them through the window. I'm not going to get too much more into that, because I have been talking with some moms in the classroom that are going to do a roundtable with me, some homeschool moms, as well as some of the educators at the center. So I'm really excited for us to just talk about walking the walk and talking the talk and being the solution now, here and now, not what's to come and what we envision, but doing it now. And those results we're getting. So it'll be fun to share that with them. So, holy smokes, I thought this was going to be a little rant, and it wasn't. So I must have rambled really far. And I know I had my B vitamin right before I did this, so I'm a little... I hope everyone's having a most beautiful one and an exciting new year. I'm really excited to talk with a friend I made. We taped on raising star seeds, and we continued our friendship offline. So she will be coming on to chat, as well as we have another episode this week with Lawrence August for Kids Health. And this one I'm really excited about. It'll be our third one, but he has sourced some articles of, the propaganda and the media and the agenda for kids' health. And this is just kind of shows a little bit of that disclosure and what they're doing, and solutions on how to navigate that. Like I said, he works in the field. His clients are children and families. So he is somebody I love talking to about kids' health. And if you didn't catch our last episode, to me, it was incredibly informative. It was on New Year's Eve, and it was about vitamins and supplements for children and like the basic nutshell of what to keep in your cabinet. Yeah. Is that all I want to share right now? I think so. I think I went all over the place. I don't even know what I just said. Okay. So with that being said, have a most beautiful one. Thank you very much for the pals and pipsqueaks. Those are my littles that are cheering me on. For the moms out there who have been chatting me with on the new little series, Homeschool Moms, and the ones who are lined up, ready to do it and asking to play. It's very exciting to share your journeys and your stories. And in some cases, bringing a voice to the voiceless. And Thank you for the support to new community members and old. And that's what I want to say about that. Okay. Have a most beautiful one. Enjoy the cozy weather, SoCal. Be smart and drive smart and stay in the heart.